This is our unit number 111. It is a 2015 170-inch wheelbase passenger Sprinter with 12 seats. Take a look at it and take it for a test drive. As you can see, the body's in really good shape. There have been a few rock strikes that have been touched up. I don't know that there's any steel damage on the hood, just chips that have been touched up and some that haven't. Let me close the side door. Alright. The only damage that I'm aware of on this side is a little dent that was added by the wheelchair tie-down installer, and it's right there in the hard spot, a tiny dent. Everything else on this side is in order as far as I know. The rear is in good shape, except for this. Somebody closed the door on something. I don't know what was sticking out when they closed the door. Kind of frustrating. Seems like that would be easy to avoid. I thought there was something on this side, but I'm not seeing it. As you can see, the exterior is in really good shape. Now let's go around. Well, there's a accident video posted, and as you'll see in the video, this vehicle runs into an AT&T truck that has a wheel or a trailer hitch sticking out. The trailer hitch hit about here, tore up this valance and destroyed the grill, messed up the radiator, and damaged the bumper skin and caused some other havoc, but it was repaired by simply replacing bolt-in parts. There wasn't any damage to the body or the frame. As far as I can tell, there was a beam across the bottom here. Well, it's hidden by the bumper. A bolt-on beam had a bit of a pinch to it, so we replaced that. And the other accident by the same driver involved this window here. You can see that there's etching in the glass where the vinyl signage used to be, but on the middle window there's no etching. The driver turned too quickly after he passed a bus and punctured this window with the bus mirror. And the bus mirror also clipped the body up here. It's fairly minor damage, but the body shop removed the glass and repaired this properly. And the repair is totally undetectable as far as I'm concerned. I really can't see it. So that's it for the exterior. Let's take a look at the interior. There's a lot of lint in the interior because I wiped everything down with brand new terry cloth wipes, and I don't know that I made things better. I just sort of covered everything with lint. But the dashboard is in good shape. Nothing wrong with the dashboard. Radio works fine. I'm going to pause for just a second to blow dust off. Okay, I've blown the dust off the lens. Where were we? So the dashboard's in good shape, and there's still dust. Oh well. Floor's in good shape. A couple scratches. No damage to the seats. The upholstery is basically like new. Get out of there, fly. We have this laptop support here, and it was fairly expensive. I'm inclined to remove it. If you'd like to have me leave it in, I guess I would be willing to do that for about $250. This securement, this ball will stay, but the rest of it will go. This is a custom-made plate, anodized aluminum plate. Also, there's some electronics on the windshield that's coming out, dash cam, and there's a Wi-Fi router up here that is not included. I don't know what else to say about the dashboard. I don't think this window has any chips. Most of our vans have at least one chip in the windshield. Not this one. I don't see it. There might be one, but I can't spot it. So now we're behind the passenger seat, behind the driver's seat, and this van includes USB charging outlets on the left side. There's one for each row. Each one includes 2 outlets. That's pretty handy if you're hauling passengers. The seats are in great shape. Now we're moving to the next row. There's some lint on the seat there, but no damage. The backs are good. It looks like the sticker's coming off a little bit. No cracks, no punctures. The carpet that you're seeing on the floor here is not included. Unless you want to buy it, it costs about $800, and I would rather just keep it. Back row is good. And come on, exposure. I guess it's kind of dark in here, but there's no damage to the back of that. The ceiling's in good shape. I heard that there's a class action suit against Mercedes-Benz for roof leaks, and I have not had that problem yet. My roofs have not leaked. There's no staining on my ceiling panels. Everything's good here. Oh, I should point out that there's an antenna. Let's see if we can get to it. There it is. There's an antenna that is GPS, cellular, and Wi-Fi. You can transmit, I guess, Wi-Fi with that. And it is connected here. I've got some electronics that I'm taking out, but the coaxes end in the seat pedestal here. Also, you've got a power wire that runs from the seat pedestal up through the B-post and up to that location there. And it will not be connected to a fuse when you get it, but you're always welcome to run your own power up there using the wire that I've already placed. Let's go to the back. Okay. Doors are in tip-top shape. Come on, doors, stay open. And just in case you don't know, these doors can open 90 degrees, and they can open 270 degrees. It's really handy for loading large cargo. The only downside is that if you let this door get away from you, there's a magnet here to hold it in place. But if you let it get away from you and smash into the side there, you'll end up with a dent in the side and a dent in the door. That happened to me on one of my units. Here's the back of the rear seat. The fire extinguisher is included. The triangles are not. On the floor we've got 4 Q-straight wheelchair tie-downs, and on the wall we have a seatbelt thing, and all you have to do is buy a few components from Q-straight if you want to haul a wheelchair passenger. Also, you'll need a ramp. We have a 10-foot folding ramp that we carry around with us when we have a handicapped passenger. So there's one of the USB outlets, and there's the other one. So you've seen all 3 now. Again, ceiling's in great shape. Sidewalls, great shape. There's a little dirt that just won't come off. Oh, that's not dirt. That's a shadow. I wonder it won't come off. But anyhow, like on the sidewall here, you can see I've scrubbed this pretty good, and I just cannot get that dirt off the wall. Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and close it up. Take it for a drive. What have I forgotten? Oh, right. So here's the maintenance book. This is included. And let's look at the last few items. This has got 300. The last maintenance was done at 304/524. This is our, it was a 5,000 mile PM, which means oil change. And then a little while ago was the last 10,000 PM at 301/500. That included a fuel filter change. Those are expensive. And so here's some other things that have been done recently. Transmission service 286. That's 286,000. Wiper blades 280. Differential oil 280. Turn signal bulbs 280. Daytime running lights 280. I'm rounding 279. Low beam light bulbs 280. Engine air filter and cabin air filter 278. Rear heat blower motor 275. All rear exterior light bulbs 245. Transmission 245. Belt tensioner pulleys 245. Serpentine belts 245. Differential 221. Rear brake pads, rotors, anti-rattle clips 202. Left front sway bar 180. AC and pulley tensioners 168. Front and rear shocks 158. And now we're kind of repeating ourselves. So that's the routine stuff. And then there's been a few extraordinary items here. I dog-eared them so I could find them easily, and now I cannot find them easily. Here we go. Well, this doesn't have the mileage on it, but it was March 13th of 2018, very recently. New intake manifolds, customer parts, no labor. So that was $1,400. These the intake manifolds on these things tend to get gummed up, and eventually they have to be cleaned or replaced. I don't think we put new ones on this. I think we removed the old manifolds, sent them out for cleaning. They were boiled, and they came back working very nicely. The butterfly valves moved very easily, and so we deemed them usable and put them back in. And if I recall correctly, we put a new actuator in as well, and we haven't had any problems since then. And then 8/23/2017, so a year ago, roughly, we had a new exhaust system put in. That was expensive, $1,820. So you're good for a while on that. And then where else? Can't find my dog ears. Oh, here it is, right here. 8/18/2017. 2 new NOx sensors. Those, let's see, what was the mileage? I don't see the mileage on here. Anyhow, the NOx sensors, they go bad. They'll go bad a lot faster if you feed your Sprinter biodiesel. You do not want to give a Sprinter biodiesel. That's like, I don't know what it's like. It's not a good thing. And then here we are, 11/28/2016. The exhaust system was replaced the first time. So the one we just looked at was the second time. And so no biodiesel, just no biodiesel. We discovered the consequences of biodiesel a couple years ago, and all of our Sprinters have been on a no bio diet ever since. We buy our fuel at Casey's. It has no biodiesel content, and all the Sprinters are very happy since they started getting that stuff. Go ahead and start it up. high, so it's kind of noisy. It's a little warm and humid here today. So you hear there's no skipping. No squealing. Nothing unusual going on here. We'll take it for a drive now. So I'm going to turn off all the blowers to make it possible to hear the engine and transmission. Take me just a second to get ready here. All right. Whoa. I don't know how I get my lenses so dirty. Just awful. Oh man, I just drove through a puddle. Spent all morning washing it. Now I got it dirty again. So we'll take it for a spin on the interstate and then hit a few surface streets, I guess. And then come back, and I guess I need to roll around underneath so that you can see what's up on the underside. So anyhow, I'm driving kind of conservatively here. So I've got nobody behind me. Oh, hold on a second. Well, that was dumb. I was going to do a brake demonstration of the brakes, but I wanted to move the binder to the front so it doesn't go flying. Anyhow, so here we'll do kind of hard acceleration. Not quite full throttle. Actually, that was probably about 75% throttle there. The dash cam complaining we're going over 72. Tops out about 85. There's a bit of a headwind today. So I'm going to back off and drop down to about 45 to see if we have any harmonic vibrations. It's pretty common for sprinters to have vibrations at different speeds. I've got a brand new Sprinter that I just took delivery of that has a fairly significant vibration at 55 miles an hour. And it turns out that the drive shaft isn't particularly well balanced. Anyhow, so I'm kind of dropping the speed down here. And I'm not really getting anything. Except I am making other drivers angry. Well, I got it down to about 50. Like I said, this Sprinter doesn't seem to have anything weird going on. Steering's good. transmission's good, brakes are good. So we're going 55 right now, 53. I'm gonna check, make sure nobody's behind me, and I'm gonna stomp on the brakes. Okay, nice clean stop. Steering didn't pull at all. Bit of a head rush. Radio works. It's getting rather hot in here without the blowers going. What else can I tell you about while we're sitting here? I don't know. It's got heated mirrors. That's handy in the winter. And there's a switch here for the lights in the rear. That comes in handy. And oh, I forgot to mention the outlets. There's a cigarette lighter outlet here, and then at the back corners on the floor there are cigarette lighter outlets. Those are real handy. Sometimes to supervise big days, we'll take one of these vans out to one of our stops, and with a folding table and chairs and laptop and router and stuff in there in back, and the outlets are really handy when we do that. So the AC works great, nice and cold. The left side is the front AC, and the right side is the rear AC. This Sprinter has the heater booster, which is a little combustion heater that is in the front left corner of the engine compartment. So if it's so cold out that the engine can't maintain the coolant temperature, the auxiliary heater will come on and get the coolant temperature up. And then on the floor back there is that trapezoidal plastic thing is one of the vents for the rear heater. There's two. That thing keeps it good and warm in the winter. Okay, I turn my blowers back off so that the engine can be heard. Okay, 30 miles an hour. So as soon as we clear this turn up here, 35 miles an hour. 40 miles an hour. Now I'm going to give full throttle. And we're going up a hill, by the way. Okay, that means we hit 72. 85, that's the top of the hill. Plenty of power, no weird shifting, everything's good. I'm going to do the hard stop again. This time I'm going to get the steering wheel. So we're at 60 right now. Straighten out, nobody behind me. Oh. Wow. Head rush, vertigo. Brakes work great. I wish there were some side streets here. There really aren't. I guess I'll just turn here. One thing about these Sprinters is that they have excellent anti-sway bars. These things corner like a car. They just really don't tip much. Sometimes they can be a little bit of a handful in a strong crosswind, though. Much less so than you would expect, I think. Okay, it looks like I'm running out of memory. So I'm going to cut this now and go back to the garage and pull out the crawler because I only have 8 minutes of memory left. Oh, I was wrong. Turns out I only had 8 minutes left in that file. Got plenty of memory left. So I got the blowers back on. You can hang meat in this thing. The AC works very well. Oops, I didn't turn into my own light. So there's no brakes squeaking or anything weird happening. There's no funny sensations in the steering, no rattling in the suspension. The front end is really tight. There's no, when vehicles get old, the front end seems to get kind of loosey-goosey, and that doesn't really happen with our Sprinters. Most of the miles are interstate miles on this thing. We pick up at 4 stops around town here, and then we jump on the interstate, drive about 160 miles, and make several stops in the Chicago area, and then return. So the majority of the miles are highway miles. That's why this Sprinter is in such great shape for the mileage. Right now it's at 306,432. The eBay listing says 310. That's just to give me a little leeway in case we have to move it around, or maybe it'll wind up doing another trip or two before it gets sold. We recently sold a Sprinter that had 355,000 miles on it, I guess, and the transmission in that one was working great. The one before that had some transmission weirdness at about 280,000 miles. The diagnosis was that it needed a new conductor plate and a new valve body. That was about $1,800, and we ended up selling it without repairing it. The next Sprinter after this has about 300,000 miles on it, and not 300,000 miles. How many miles does it have? Less than this one. I don't really remember. It has substantially fewer miles than this one. Maybe 50,000 miles less. I'm not sure. But it is exhibiting symptoms already similar to the Sprinter that had the bad conductor plate and valve body. So you really never can tell how long the transmissions are going to last on these things. But I'd say the fact that it got past 300 with no problems whatsoever means that it's probably going to be fine. Let's see. I just thought of one more thing. This Sprinter does not have the stock Roadrunner horn. It's got some real horns. They're quite loud. Big improvement over the stock Roadrunner horn. Okay, now we're going to venture to the underside. There's a bunch of air conditioner condensate. Whoa. I think I might go in from the other side. I'm not willing to tangle with the exhaust system after driving it. Okay, so we got some air conditioning condensation dripping. Quite a bit of it. Oh, I don't know, this isn't all condensation. Before I took this out for a spin, I had rinsed off the engine compartment. I think some of this is from that. But anyhow, here's the, oh, it's not in the engine compartment like I said. This is the little combustion heater, and here's the muffler for it. That's what warms things up, even when it's really cold out. And let's see here. There's the transmission, of course. And aside from the dripping water and condensate, the transmission is dry. There's no drops of fluid dangling on the underside. There's some clear water, but there's no fluid, no transmission fluid or anything. The engine has a oil pan heater. That's really handy in the winter. 250 watts. So here's the beginning of the exhaust system. I really don't want to touch that. I did in a prior video. It was entertaining for everybody, but not so much for me. Okay, here's the front right wheel, front left wheel, and this drive shaft looks new. I have a drive shaft core in a box in the garage, and I know we put a aftermarket drive shaft in a 110. That was interesting, but I think this is a replacement drive shaft. I didn't notice it in the maintenance binder when I was flipping through it earlier, but it appears to be a new drive shaft. It's too clean to be the original. Okay. So let's roll towards the back. I don't know, I might take that back. I don't see any evidence that this carrier bearing's been swapped out. So that must be the original drive shaft. It's just so clean. Gotta keep my knee from hitting the exhaust. Here's the differential, back U-joint. There's no seepage at the differential. Nope, no seepage, that's a good thing. The pinion seal's kind of a pain to replace, so it's good that it's not leaking. There's the rear left wheel. Ow, damn it, I knew I was going to touch the exhaust eventually. Ouch. Alright. That big washer and the bolt sticking down through the floor is the bottom side of the wheelchair tie down. If we looked carefully, we could find all four. There's another one there. That black box thing there is the rear heater. It's very effective. If you're in Alaska, you will not have any problems. Wow. I don't see any corrosion on here. The only corrosion is on these washers that I've noticed is on these washers for the Q-straight. There's the backup alarm. Man, my knee really hurts touching the exhaust. Ouch. Here's the tailpipe. Everything's in good shape here. Now there's a little oil on the back cap of the differential, but I've never actually filled the differential myself. But I kind of suspect that cap is where you put the oil in, so it's not terribly surprising that there's a little oil on it. So there you have it. A well-maintained Sprinter that has had a very easy life.